No matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkirk Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. You are better off without them. Let me say that again. You are better off without them. Today, I wanted to talk about this very statement in the context of both friendships and romantic relationships. A lot of people hold on to other people in their life simply for security, for comfort. People think that because you've known someone for years and years, that means they have a permanent space in your life. These very people sometimes treat you like shit, or maybe more often than not, and you still keep them around. Deep down, you probably want to let them go, but you are too scared to. So again, I say, you're better off without them. I've struggled with this so much. I am someone who craves people around me. Growing up, I was bullied, and we can unhash that very soon, but I have always craved people around me, and I kept a lot of people around me for many years that actually hated me, which I learned later on. I had that gut feeling, but I thought it's better to have people around than to be alone. It's better to look like I have friends than not have friends. And thinking back, that is such a negative and toxic way of thinking. And thankfully, I have really grown up since then, but I want to take you guys through memory lane, tell you some stories about this very statement to really help you guys understand that if you are in this situation, you do not have to settle for people who are not serving you, people who are actually mean and don't have your best interests at heart. This one's for you. I alluded to this already, but I was bullied when I was a kid. I felt so out of place growing up, and a lot of that was out of my control. But I wanted so badly to fit in that I just put up with so much shit from the quote unquote popular people in my classes and in my grades. I would do things that were honestly, looking back, so stupid and so not who I am because I didn't want to be judged for not doing those things. I really struggled with myself, with my self-esteem. I was really insecure, and I learned the hard way because even after me fighting to try to win their support, win their praise, win their love, they still didn't really like me at the end of the day. Who was I serving in that pursuit? I still ended up being so miserable and so sad. When you go out of your way to try to please other people, to try to fit in, you are leaving yourself behind. You are leaving your true essence behind. Because people who actually value you, people who really deeply, truly care about you, will accept all of you, and you will not be left with this emptiness feeling. I have experienced a lot of different friendship turmoil. I look back and I realize it is because I was never fully accepted for being myself in so many areas of my life. I think back to college. I think back even to a portion of my post-grad experience. I was never fully accepted for who I was, and I felt myself stretching and trying to be someone likable to those people. Why? It was because I was so uncomfortable with existing as myself because those people made me feel like I was inadequate. They made me feel like I didn't belong, that I was weird. As I grew up, more and more, I've gotten way more comfortable with myself, which is such a beautiful part of the human experience. That maturity has offered me so much perspective. I'm able to see through the bullshit. I'm able to understand people who are not really there for you and people who couldn't care less about you versus the people who truly, truly care about you and the people who want to see you succeed genuinely. In New York, currently, I'm experiencing a lot of trials and tribulations with finding my people and finding a space and an environment that I feel fully comfortable. Year one of New York was really hard for many reasons. I moved here on my own and not knowing anyone, which really made the whole experience way more daunting. I put myself out there so much, like so much. I joined Facebook groups, I joined group chats, went out of my way to go to events by myself. There was so much that I, looking back, did to try to make friends and try to cultivate a community, an in real life community. Unfortunately, a lot of my efforts did not pan out as ideally as I would have hoped. A lot of people were very shady. A lot of people were fake. A lot of people did not have my best intentions at heart. And I realized I was doing so much to try to be friends with certain people who, again, could not care less. Looking back, I realized that there were people who wanted parts of me, but weren't willing to accept all of me. Another story. There was this girl who I met in 2023 while I was here in New York. We met at an event. She was seemingly so fun, so nice, and we had a lot of good interactions from then on. We would meet periodically, and after each hangout, I would walk away feeling pretty good about the experience. And I would walk away thinking, okay, she seems like she's someone who I can call friend. Fast forward to the summer. She had a birthday party. She invited a ton of people and she invited me. I was really excited. I thought, okay, we have advanced from hanging out periodically to you're inviting me to your birthday, so you obviously like me to some degree. I went to the birthday party. Better yet, I went out of my way to make a cute little gift and show up with it. I thought that I was being a friend and doing things that friends would do. The party went great. Everything was great, hanging out with everybody, meeting new people. Fast forward a few months later, it is now my birthday. I create a cute party full invite. I send it out to everybody. I invite her. Within minutes of sending out that party full, I got a immediate can't go from said person. There was no message attached to it. There was no text to me separately saying, hey, I can't go, but I would love to do something. I would love to hang out again soon. Something that you would think a friend would do, especially given a few months ago, I definitely showed her a very great gesture of friendship. I didn't get anything, and I was upset about it. I let it sit for a little bit. I went on a little trip, I believe, a few days later, just thinking, oh, maybe she'll send me a text or something. Just acknowledging something. I came back from the trip. It had been almost a week later. Didn't get anything from her, so I decided to send her a text and say, hey, just want to let you know this kind of made me upset. I thought that we were pretty good friends and I didn't get even an explanation of you not coming or even a text saying, hey, sorry, I couldn't make it. I felt very put off by it. I'm someone who's very straightforward, by the way. If that's not your style, that's okay, but that is how I roll. I was expecting a little more from the response from her, but long story short, that was the last time her and I spoke, still to this day. She didn't even wish me happy birthday. She didn't acknowledge it at all after that interaction. And from then on, it made me really think, I feel like I'm putting a little too much effort into this friendship. I think I'm showing up way more than the other person. And that never feels good. I decided I needed to rescind and take a step back. I am such an optimist and I really believe in the best in everybody, but something I cannot get behind is people blatantly being rude and being pretty upsetting. Especially if I have expressed that I'm upset about something, I would really hope that the person would take that into account. And I would definitely hope that if you consider me a friend to any extent, you would have wished me happy birthday. I went above and beyond for your birthday. I'm not saying you had to do any of that, but acknowledging someone's birthday, I think is pretty baseline. So back to what I said about you're better off without them. I thought a lot about that interaction and I realized if this is how it's going to be, then it's not worth it. It's not worth my time and I am better off without her. I can go find new friends. I can go pour into different friendships. I realized that I wanted it to work so badly that I was getting a little reserved and I was holding back my feelings out of fear that we would just not be friends anymore. which clearly already ended up happening. I realized that I really have to put myself first in terms of making sure that I'm okay, because a lot of people don't care as much as you do. And if you're listening to this and if you really resonate with what I'm saying, I'm glad. I'm not glad that you've been in the same situation. I'm glad that you can understand that you are worth more than what people give you. Don't make space for people who don't make space for you. I learned that the hard way. And that was just one story, by the way. I could give you a ton more, but do not make space for people who don't care. Match their energy. If they're not texting you back, fine. Just let it go. And yes, that is way easier said than done. And this is coming from me, somebody who cares very deeply about people. I care so much about the people I care about. And it is tough to be the one who cares a lot. And it is tough to feel like you care more than everyone you are showing up for. But especially if you've expressed your care, especially if you have expressed when something means a lot to you and the other person still doesn't pull through, that just shows a lack of care on their end and honestly disrespect. And you don't deserve to be disrespected. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve people who hold space for you, who go out of their way to make it so that you feel comfortable. And if you don't feel that in your life, then you are in fact better off without them. And maybe in another life or later on, they will understand that they lost out on someone great, but you are going to be way beyond them at that point. And just like in friendships, this definitely plays a part in relationships. Let's talk about dating for a second. You are better off without them. If he or she is not putting in the effort that you deserve, fuck them. Walk away. They don't deserve you anyway. Another story time. I feel like I could write a book at this point with all of my dating escapades, not only in New York, but just in general. So I was talking to this guy via Hinge, and this guy was seemingly not my type, but I'll be honest, I think I kind of forced it. I wanted it to work out, at least just to get to the first date. We had prolonged this first date for a month. So already that's just dumb, because if we are not meeting in the first week of speaking, I don't want it. But me being an optimist, I thought, well, maybe he's worthwhile. It seemed like it, but I realized he just kept dodging and dodging and dodging. He made a plan and then would cancel last minute, made a plan and made an excuse for something else. This happened multiple times. And mind you, I do have self-respect. I do know when things are just too much. Arguably, there were many points in there where, yeah, I should have walked away. But like I said, I think I was trying to do it for the plot. And I think I was trying to do it to perk myself up, to get another date under my belt, just to really flex that muscle of dating. But this guy proved to me early on that he wasn't going to show up for me in the ways that I know that I needed. He wasn't going to communicate with me in the ways that were really important to me. And he wasn't going to be there in the ways that I know that I need a partner to be. So then what is the point of me continuing this cat and mouse game? Oh yeah, this is also very important to the story. This guy would not make a concrete plan. He would just text me out of the blue and say, hey, what are you doing tomorrow night? Or hey, got plans? And it's like, what are you doing? We are adults. If you want something, ask for it, but don't give me this half in, half out, very vague bullshit. I don't want it. And I made that very clear to him. I made that extremely clear. But he still showed then after he was stuck in his ways. That is when I realized, no, this is not worth it. I need to walk away. And spoiler alert, we never went on a first date. And honestly, that's probably for the best, because if I really think hard about it, we would not have been compatible in a lot of ways. So why waste my time when I can put forth that energy to another person? We exchanged texts at the very end, just saying, hey, this isn't going to work. Good luck. Which I think is a very admirable way to leave it. I realized through that whole endeavor, I was trying too hard. I was putting so much of myself out there when it was not, in fact, being reciprocated. And like I said, that sucks and that doesn't feel good. And I don't deserve that. And you do not deserve that. If you are in a situation where someone is not showing up at all or showing up half-assed, you don't need it. It really sucks to be on the receiving end of that. It really sucks when someone doesn't make you a priority. Now let's talk about what to do when you walk away. When you walk away from the hinge date, when you walk away from the friendship, because it is not serving you, because you deserve better. It's gonna suck. So I want to shed light on that. It's going to suck a little bit. It's going to be hard for a little bit, and you might be emotionally attached to the situation or the person, and that is completely okay and valid. Feel your feelings. This is coming from someone who feels every feeling she emotes. Feel your feelings. I'm a strong proponent on writing things down. I'm a strong proponent on talking it out with someone you trust and pour back into yourself. And in time, you will be ready to open yourself back up to new friendships. You will be ready to open yourself back up to dating again. When things like this happen, the old version of me would get really, really sad and really mad and frustrated and a little self-destructive. That was the old me. But the new me takes all of this, the good and the bad, and I just sit with it. I sit with it for a little bit. I write it down. I go to therapy. I talk about it with my close friends. I do things that I love, which include running is my new fixation right now, lots of self-care, and I remind myself how great I am. That's another really important thing. You are great. Do not let anyone tell you differently. And I know that it sucks because when people treat you like that, you literally start to think, is it me? Am I a bad person? Am I not great? Am I not worth spending time with? Am I not worth making a priority? No, literally cut that out. Do not say that. You are worth it. You are worth time and effort and energy and love and respect. Do not let anyone ever make you feel like you don't. So again, I say, remind yourself who you are. Pour back into yourself, whether it be hobbies, whether it be self-care. Do things you know light you up and remind you that you are amazing. Because once you feel that confidence come back in yourself post this bullshit that had happened, you will feel way more equipped to go into these future situations. That's what it is all about. Taking what life gives you, no matter how shitty, and making a positive spin on it. It is truly easy to misunderstand people treating you like shit and thinking, oh, it's me. I'm the problem. No. That's just a misunderstanding. You are not the problem. They want different things and you want different things. That is what it comes down to at the end of the day. So let them go. Let them find whatever they're searching for because you're on your own journey and you're also searching for what you need to, what will fill your cup, what will make you whole, what will make you happy. You deserve people who will hold space for you. Never forget that. And with that, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Misunderstood. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know your thoughts on the episode. Don't forget to rate the podcast, as well as remember to follow the podcast on Spotify. Come hang out with me on my other socials. It is NK Madani on TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, and Instagram. And I will talk to you guys in the next one.